Hello and welcome to Fin Business. I'm in conversation with Shivangi Kamath, who's a quality management head at Tata AIG General Insurance Company. Shivangi, welcome on the show.
Thank you, Amol.
To start with, I would like to understand how general insurance companies actually take a use of quality control and quality assurance management.
So, Amol, general insurance or for that matter insurance have been a little slow in adapting to a quality management kind of a framework, typically because of the lack of understanding. So, a quality management framework typically has two branches. One is quality control and the other one is quality assurance. So when I talk about quality control, okay, quality control is typically assessing the output individually before it reaches the customer. And quality assurance on the other side, the word assurance itself, says that it assures that your business processes or your functional processes are made in a way that they are imbibing quality within it to ensure that the output it has less of human intervention and meets the customer satisfaction or the standards that are set by the customers.
Then I have a very important and immediate question. The question is, how do you at insurance company, how do you actually evaluate quality control and quality assurance management? What are the parameters do you use?
So in insurance or a typical insurance sector, if I have to see, it works, it has various functions, right? And each of these functions have defined processes on which these functions perform or they work on or they operate on. So understanding the functional needs, okay, understanding the process or understanding the actual aim of working on those processes actually helps us to design a framework, which will cater or which will lead to the final output.
Right.
So it may be different for different functions, and being into quality, it focuses majorly on understanding the actual intent or goal of that function or that functional operation, and then designing a framework.
But when you look at quality control or quality management or digital adoption or anything or specifically automation, the agenda of every company is very simple: increase the profitability and reduce the cost, operations cost. How beneficial quality management is in achieving these two goals?
So there are two ways to answer this, Amol. One being how do you understand whether your customer needs or what your customer wants, okay? And that is typically done by using some of these quality methodologies to understand what the customer has or opines about you in the market, whether it comes to your services or whether it comes to the product that you design. So the main foundation of any quality framework is built on understanding few aspects. One would be your voice of customer, what is critical to the business, and then understanding how would you, cater or ensure that you combine these two and then, have a solution around it.
So again, broadly, if you could explain, what kind of assessments actually companies do under the quality management?
There are various assessments, okay. Understanding what you want to assess in the process or at company level is important. For example, you would want to assess whether the product that you've launched in the market, is it actually meeting the expectations of the customer? At the same time, is it ensuring that your business growth is taken care of, or is it slashing your cost, right? So it's important that you understand these three aspects at the same time. So having a thorough knowledge of what you wish to assess is important, okay? And that's why when it comes to a quality expert or a quality management framework, a typical quality expert would first try and understand or would list down what the objective is of performing any kind of quality assessment before he or she actually begins with that kind of assessment.
Could you just give me some user case study, or let me hypothetically ask you, for example, your company or any general insurance company wants to come with some product. Let's come with a product that your premium will be decided or determined on the kilometers that you drive, right? That is the product that you are going to launch at your company. You launch the product and perhaps the result that you got is not going with or not matching with the objective that you had. What will you do?
So it becomes like a typical problem, okay. Most of the companies normally have a quality management framework to assess not only before they launch any kind of product in the market, but also they do a lot of evaluations or assessments after the product has been launched. Okay. So if I have to see a typical example of companies who do not adapt or do not have a quality management framework, normally do not envisage three kind of risk which I see or which I have perceived in my career. One would be they either launch the product without actually understanding, or knowing what the customer wants, okay, and to them it may be a very cheaper product, right? The cost would be slashed, it could be a digital platform used, but is it actually meeting my customer needs? That's important. So that's one part of risk which is not envisaged before you launch a product, okay. Whereas if there is a quality framework or there is a quality assessment done, a quality assessor will typically first analyze, understand the customer database, right? So that's how data analytics also plays a very important role when it comes to designing any kind of service. My second risk would be, am I actually giving the customer the exact required, or the exact desired need, not too more or not too less, correct? A typical quality assessor will exactly assess or will know the exact demand of the customer. Right. If I have to buy a car and my need is a smaller car, I wouldn't want to drive in a bigger car or a luxury car.
Right.
Okay. The third part of risk is I see if it is not assessed well. Okay. Then I am actually going to launch a product or a service which the customer has never demanded or complained of.
So how much do you rely on the data and how accurate the data that you have? Because when you say that the person never demanded the big car and he wanted a small car, or the small customer never demanded a small car but demanded a big car. So for example, you're doing something with the crop insurance, right? And the question is this, that farmer perhaps is looking for a tractor but you're selling him an aeroplane. So how accurate this data is and what exactly is the initiative that you take?
So data accuracy, okay, we have different tools that we use, okay. Basically, we normally prefer a voice of customer or a customer satisfaction survey, or you have mystery callings done, you have mystery visits done to meet the customers. There are various steps or various methods that a quality person normally adapts to get into to understand what the actual voice of the customer is. And to actually measure the accuracy, we normally prefer gathering data by more than 3 methods. Okay. So it gives, and again they have their own study done where they they plot their own judgments and see if the actual customer needs are being met by understanding the data.
Has your assessments ever gone wrong, or has your assessments ever gone 100% right? Could you just give us 2 examples, right and wrong?
Okay, so quality does not guarantee, okay, or says that I am being 100% compliant to the customer, okay.
So you can sell a bullock cart to the person living in an urban India and a Mercedes to the farmer.
No, not 100% in that terms. When I say 100%, quality will always ensure that it creates that wow experience or that wow factor. So in a typical quality management framework, or for us to work on a particular solution or a problem, it is very important that you understand what a problem is, okay, and what the objective or the goal of that assessment is. Once you have this correct, then it is absolutely a win-win situation. But if this is not defined correct or not understood, then it's absolutely another failure to the entire project. Okay, people talk about innovation time and again, but innovation actually is a failure to performing a process.
Yeah,
correct
nice statement.
So it typically talks about one of the steps in a process has failed, which led to another unexplored output. That's an innovation.
So then, when you are actually doing an assessment, do you actually consider this Six Sigma quality assurance or black belt into consideration?
Yes. So
how important that role is?
So if you really need a doctor's degree to actually analyze a patient or to actually understand what the problem is, These are some of the certifications and the competencies that you need to have. Okay. However, this does not, come with an examination or submission of a project. It always demands that you work on these projects to get these. But typically in a quality management framework, yes, it is important because apart from your analysis to seeing or to perceiving the problem and finding the solution, it's important that you also use these tools to make it appear more accurate.
If I ask specifically about Tata AIG General Insurance Company, what is new that you are doing in quality management department that you think will be beneficial for your company?
Tata Group as such, they have their own framework which is Tata Business Excellence Model, where so they have adapted this model from a renowned model, Malcolm Baldrige model. Having said that, a typical quality management framework in Tata has now penetrated into most of the functions, right from a product launch
Right.
to a product is delivered to the customer, to launching a new service, or to assessing if my current service is actually desiring the actual customer expectation.
So at your company level, when you're dealing with assessments, what are the major challenges that you face when you're actually going for quality assurance, quality management, quality control?
So having a quality management framework within any organization typically needs a good change management skills, because the first resistance that you will see is the functional heads or the people not wanting to change.
Right.
Okay, the change will be for good and bad as well, but that's a typical challenge that one faces when you want to have a change management kind of a framework or a quality framework in any sector for that matter.
So I have a last and a very important question. Where is the industry heading in specifically quality management if I talk about insurance?
So there's lack of awareness of quality. Okay. However, if I have to consider in the West, any organization, any sector will first have a quality management or a quality framework in place, because they know how important it is to actually understand or start your your groundwork right to deliver it right. So it's important, so you see that culture there in West. However, if I have to consider India, we are having that kind of awareness growing now, where most of the companies or sectors you will see that you have a separate service excellence model or a service excellence function or a process excellence function or a quality management function. Though late, but yes, of course, we are seeing that trend change from not having such kind of a framework to adapting people or hiring people to do jobs right.
Shivangi, those were interesting insights. Let's hope that you will maintain the same quality at your company, and the industry will also adopt insurance tech and more digital at the industry level, which will be beneficial not for the companies but the customers as well. Thank you so much for talking to Fin Business.
Thank you, Amar.
Thank you. And thank you so much for watching.